issues. This felt similar to that, where it was just who could survive toward the end. Chase Elliott ultimately was the guy that did that. It's huge for that 9 team to get the monkey off of their back. Hindsight's 2020, but if you really look at it, he hasn't been running that bad, especially to start 2024. Already wins one stage. This is a whole different animal to actually get the checkered flag at the end there, but had been running well. Obviously, they said on the broadcast, this was his first 1.5 mile top 5 in the next-gen car. He did win at Nashville in 2022. It's a 1.3-mile track, so it's kind of a skewed stat. But the fact of the matter is, the next-gen car, and Chase Elliott's even admitted, he struggled in this car. He has not been the Chase Elliott that we expected, the 2020 champion, driving at Hendrick Motorsports, the top-of-the-line car you're going to have in NASCAR, one of the best seats you'll have, best equipment, best facilities, best resources. And it hasn't been the Chase Elliott that we expect. It hasn't been bad, but when you're a Cup Series champion in that kind of equipment, it's a different kind of level of expectations. And it hasn't been met, quite frankly. You don't expect him to run top 10. You expect him to be running top 5, especially with William Byron being an absolute force this last 16 calendar months, if you will. Kyle Larson obviously being a force to be reckoned with since he's joined Hendrick at 2021. It just feels like Chase Elliott's kind of slowly started to go down the pecking order. The stock has slowly kind of been going away from Chase Elliott. And today was a huge step in the right direction for him and for Alan Gustafson, who, if you follow NASCAR very closely, you'll know Alan Gustafson gets a lot of flack being Chase Elliott's crew chief with the mistakes that's come with strategy in the last few years and just bad luck when it comes to race just play out in management. Some of it's self-inflicted, some of it's not, but Alan Gustafson feels like he's a scapegoat for a lot of it. So in the press conference today after the race, it felt like he was pushing back at people, saying, hey, we've got the same numbers as Kyle Larson to start 2024. We've got the same amount of wins now. We're the third guy to win in our team. Chase Elliott's, he's back. The last time he won was Talladega in 2022 in the fall race. Where are we back in NASCAR next week? Talladega. So the guy who's notoriously good on concrete, he's got Dover coming up, Nashville in the summer. Maybe the Chase Elliott stock is starting to trend back up in 2024. Something to definitely watch. I think the biggest thing is just getting that monkey off of your back. You can run well, but until you actually get across the finish line and take that checkered flag and you get interviewed by Reagan Smith at Victory Lane, or I guess at the finish line now, I got to imagine it does wonders to your confidence, especially for someone like Chase Elliott, who's already been to the peak of the mountain in NASCAR. He's seen what it's like, and then has slowly, like I said, started to dip a little bit there. I think it's huge moving forward for that 9 team, and to see not only for him, but for Hendrick Motorsports as a whole, this is their third car to win now. I mean, if everyone's firing on all cylinders, they're an absolute force. I mean, obviously it feels like it's an arms race between them and JGR right now. They've won 8 of the 9 races to start this year. But Chase Elliott, the guy who's kind of been forgotten, the quiet champion over at Hendrick Motorsports, finally getting that monkey off of his back. Like I said, Talladega in 2022, that fall race, 42 races ago, holds off quite frankly, a frantic end there. 3 different late finishes, a double overtime restart, if you will, NASCAR calls it, after they burned off a few laps there with the Denny Hamlin spin there with 7 to go. And he had to battle Ross Chastain on his outside. He had Brad Keselowski behind him, who hadn't won in 106 races, I believe is the number there. So Brad himself had a dry spell, had fresher tires by about, I think they said 18 laps on the broadcast. And today, tires didn't matter a ton, but on green flag cycles it did. And Brad Keselowski was slowly moving his way through the top 5 when those late cautions happened. I think the first one started the whole sequence there with 18 to go with Hamlin leading. And so for Chase Elliott to be able to withstand not only the war of attrition all day, but then 3 late restarts, he looked aggressive out there. He looked confident, and that is massive for Chase Elliott moving forward. Again, he breaks his streak. He breaks the Hooters curse. A lot to be excited for moving forward if you're a Chase Elliott fan, which, 6-time most popular driver in NASCAR. There are plenty few out there that are excited to see that, as well as how he took the lead. You started with You had a caution, 18 to go there. Denny Hamlin was the leader. Chase Elliott was running P2, holding off Brad Keselowski. Well, like I said, had fresher tires by the skin of his teeth. Elliott lines up second on the restart on the outside lane of the front row. And as they take the second turn, he's neck and neck with Hamlin. A caution comes out. And they show even the graphic on Fox. It is minuscule. It is probably, you could pull a couple of mustache hairs out of me, and that would probably be the difference there. He gets a little bit ahead of Denny Hamlin when that caution comes out. And okay, he's got the control line. He's on the inside. And Denny Hamlin just never was able to get close enough to where he could clear Chase Elliott. That inside positioning was very, very strong, especially if you only had a few laps to run that restart on, because like I said, you had 3 late restarts there. It was massive for him to be able to hold those people off. And Denny Hamlin absolutely sends it going into the turn with Chase Elliott on the outside. Gets a little loose like everyone has today. No contact. It was very fair racing. Both guys, I think, are okay with it. Denny Hamlin loses it. Spins out, backs the car into the wall there, like we've seen multiple times today. Chase Elliott, holds off Ross Chastain. Kind of doors him a little bit there. A little controversial. Not a lot was made of it over the broadcast, but Chase Elliott definitely doors Ross Chastain. But with Chastain's background, you got to swing first or you're going to get punched probably by Ross in that situation, especially going for the win. So Elliott was aggressive with Chastain, and then Chastain slides up the racetrack later in that lap, comes down on Byron's nose after he's already slowing the pace. People are going to say, oh, Byron takes out Chastain for his teammate. Man, it was just a bang play there. But ultimately those late restarts, it was just guys racing for the win.